Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to talk about nervous system. So let's start our topic with introduction. Nervous system is a complex network responsible for coordinating body functions, transmitting signals and regulating responses to environmental stimuli. It consists of specialized cells called neurons which facilitate communication through electrical and chemical signals. Now let's talk about overview of nervous system. Nervous system is divided into two major parts. These are central nervous system and peripheral nervous system. Central nervous system includes the brain and spinal cord responsible for processing information and controlling bodily functions, while peripheral nervous system consists of nerves and ganglia outside the central nervous system which relays signals between the central nervous system and rest of the body. The primary role of nervous system is to regulate physiological processes, sensory perception, motor coordination and higher cognitive functions such as memory and reasoning. Now let's talk about components of nervous system. They include neurons and neuroglia that are also called as glial cells. First, we will talk about neurons. Neurons are the fundamental units of nervous system responsible for transmitting signals, and they consist of three main parts that are body, that is also called as soma, that contains nucleus and organelles. Second is dendrites, that is branch-like structure that receives signals from other neurons, and axon, that is a long fiber that carries impulses away from the cell body. Neurons communicate through electrical impulses and chemical neurotransmitters. The next component of nervous system is neuroglia or glial cells. Glial cells provide support, nourishment, and protection for neurons. Its types include astrocytes that regulate neurotransmitter level and maintain the blood-brain barrier. Second type is oligodendrocyte that form myelin sheath in central nervous system. Third is Schwann cells that provide myelination for peripheral nervous system neurons, and microglia that act as immune cells within the nervous system. Now let's talk about classification of nervous system. Nervous system is functionally categorized into following divisions. There are somatic nervous system that control voluntary movements and regulates skeletal muscle through motor neurons, and autonomic nervous system that oversees involuntary functions such as heart rate and digestion. It is divided into sympathetic nervous system and parasympathetic nervous system. Sympathetic nervous system prepares the body for stress-related activities that may be fight or flight response, and parasympathetic nervous system promotes relaxation and conserves energy. The third classification of nervous system, that is functional classification, is enteric nervous system that manages digestion independently but interacts with the autonomic nervous system. It is found in gastrointestinal tract. Now let's talk about brain and its function. Brain is most complex organ controlling thoughts, emotions, memory and physical function. It is divided into major regions that are cerebrum, that is largest part of brain responsible for higher cognitive function, and it is divided into lobes like frontal lobe, parietal lobe, temporal lobe and occipital lobe, each for its own function. Second part of brain is cerebellum that coordinates movement and balance. It is involved in fine motor control. And the third part is brainstem that includes midbrain, pons and medulla oblongata. It regulates vital functions such as breathing, heart rate and reflexes. Now let's talk about spinal cord and reflex action. Spinal cord is primary communication pathway between the brain and body. It has several functions including it transmits sense information from body to the brain, it sends motor command from the brain to the nuclear muscles, and it controls reflex action through simple neural circuits. Reflexes occur without direct involvement of brain, allowing for rapid responses of stimuli. Now let's talk about nerve impulse transmission. Neurons communicate through electrical impulses and neurotransmitter release. The process follows several steps including resting potential, that is, a neuron maintains a negative charge inside. Then it happens is action potential, that is, a stimulus triggers repolarization leading to impulse transmission. Third is synaptic transmission, as neurotransmitters like dopamine or acetylcholine cross synapse to relay signals to the other neurons. And this rapid signaling allows for complex processes like thoughts, movements, and sensory perception. Now let's talk about disorders of nervous system. Several conditions can affect nervous system function. There may be neurodegenerative disorders that include Alzheimer's disease that cause memory loss and cognitive decline. It also includes Parkinson's disease that leads to tremors and movement difficulties due to dopamine deficiency. Next neurodegenerative disorders is multiple sclerosis that damage myelin sheath, impairing nerve signal transmission. And the other types of disorders may be infectious and inflammatory disorders, and they may include meningitis, that is infection of meninges surrounding the brain and spinal cord. It also may include encephalitis, that is inflammation of brain due to viral infection. And there may be traumatic injuries like spinal cord injury that disrupt nerve communication, possibly leading to paralysis, and concussions, that is temporary brain dysfunction caused by head trauma. There may be psychological and neurological disorders of nervous system that include epilepsy, that is characterized by recurrent seizures, and depression and anxiety that is related to imbalances in neurotransmitter levels. Now let's talk about treatment of these disorders or treatment of disorders of nervous system. Management of nervous system disorders include medications that may be neuroprotective drugs, pain relievers, and neurotransmitter modulating treatments. It may be by surgical procedure, that is deep brain stimulation and corrective surgeries. And the treatment may be by physical therapy as rehabilitation for injuries affecting mobility and coordination. It is important to do physical therapy. Emerging therapies include gene treatments and regenerative medicines offer new hope for treating neurological conditions. Now let's talk about conclusion of this lecture video. Nervous system is complex and essential network that enables perception, movements, thought, and bodily function. Its proper functioning is crucial for overall health, and any damage or disorder can lead to significant consequences. Continued research in neurology and advancement in medical sciences provide opportunities for better understanding and treating nervous system disorders. And this was all about nervous system. Hopefully you liked the video. If you do, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment. Thank you for watching.